Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unscripted. Okay, we're going to have technology issues again tonight, but bear with us. We are just getting back into the swing of things. There's something about passion, the kind that doesn't fade with time, the kind that follows you from one chapter of your life into the next, quietly shaping who you become. For some people, it's not just interest, it's identity. Tonight's conversation is about the intersection where lifelong passion meets innovation, where something rooted in the world, something you can hear, touch, feel, finds its way into digital future without losing what made it special in the first place. Wait, can you guys hear me? Am I live? Technology, right? Okay, so let's restart this. What is happening? What is happening? This could not be happening. Okay, you can see me, but I'm frozen. Okay, we'll get this reset. And I do apologize, Rex. So let's go ahead and continue because this isn't just about cars. It's not just about crypto. It's about evolution. It's about what happens when someone takes decades of experience in building, in designing, in understanding how people interact with technology, and it uses it to open doors that were once closed to so many. There's a different level of vision required to look at something like a collector car, something iconic, something untouchable for most, and say, what if more people could be part of this, not just observe it, but actually participate in it? But what with that kind of vision comes risk, comes doubt, it comes moments where you're building something that people don't fully understand yet, and you have to believe in it anyway. So tonight with us, we are joined by the one and only Rex Tracer, who is building DVRN Labo. And let me bring him. Oh my goodness gracious. Guys, I have to reboot this thing. It's not even letting me, but don't go anywhere, Rex. I'm gonna pull you right back in.
Are we live?
It's frozen with you in there. I mean,
Oh,
I see him. I see us.
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Is it's bringing you slowly. Look,
Oh man, yeah. On my end, you're slow, and I'm in real time. So
I have no idea what's happening. I promise you, I tested this several times to avoid this all day. And then, now we're on here and technology, it's like you got of it.
yeah, I feel like every live stream and space I've done over the last couple of weeks has been like this. So it's par for the course at this point.
Oh, Jesus, just get us through this episode. And I think we are going to be just fine, Rex. I appreciate patience. Thank you so much. I didn't think that I was going to be freezing up, but you know what? Let's go ahead and get started. Roll the punches because you've been very patient, and I appreciate you
Yep.
joining me tonight. So,
Yeah, no
okay,
problem.
now let's dig right into it. Prior to you coming into the space and deciding to build with DRVN, my understanding is that you have a history of already knowing cars and being in the industry. Am I off?
Yeah, no, you're totally right about that. I've actually been kind of in the car and crypto space for a long time, and it's only, since I've started this project that I've combined the two. So before I started Driven Labo, I was the VP of Web3 for a startup decentralized social platform. And then when I left that company after
Mhm.
a couple of years, I had an opportunity to do something of my own. And speaking to my automotive past, I've been really deep into car culture pretty much all my life. So my family has been four generations with Mercedes Benz. So since 1890.
Oh,
And so
wow.
it's practically in my DNA to love cars. I've been going to like Indy races and stuff like that since I was a little boy. Started racing cars when I was 15 years old. Started drifting when I was 18, 19, and been just really active in this culture for a very long time. And also during my uh, career prior to coming into Web3, I was a creative director, did brand and product development for a lot of automotive businesses and big manufacturers too. So I've worked with like Honda, Acura, Callaway, Celine, all sorts of things. So yeah, it's really is the perfect combination of everything that I'm passionate about, coming to
Okay,
fruition
that
with
is
Driven Labo.
amazing. Wait, you talked about drifting,
Yes.
where, it's like kind of what we see in the movies, like Tokyo Drift and things like
Yep.
that,
That's what
right? Not
everybody thinks
literally
about.
Tokyo, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I tried to drift one time in my neighborhood and I broke the mirror, my driver mirror. Never tried it again, but it's fun. Now,
Yeah.
at what point did you discover crypto and then join this space and thought, you know what, I can it's into this space and create what you're creating?
Mhm. Uh, so I'm a bit of an OG. I got into crypto early. So 2013, I bought my first Bitcoin and then started going down that rabbit hole. I was really interested from the perspective of like economics and hard money. And then I got
Mhm.
interested in the tech side. But it wasn't until like the whole crypto kitties thing blew up and NFTs started to become a thing where I really understood the the vastness of what blockchain can do beyond just bringing monetary units on chain, making them digital. So I
Mhm.
started a project in 2016, 2017, where it was like RWA before RWA was a thing. One of the other interests I have is watches. And there's a big problem in the high end watch industry, like Rolexes is a common example. of fake Rolexes being on the market. So I was like, what if we could attach an NFT to prove provenance of these luxury goods? And so I started a company then that was all about proving authenticity of real world items. I used the phrase phygital items at the time, combining the physical and digital, and that idea always stuck with me. I always, I kind of went down that whole, NFT, DeFi, deep in the trenches phase, but it never left me that to me the real value is tying the physical items with digital, the digital value. And so I I want to say it was roughly 2023. I was in this position to start something new. At the same time, I had bought a project car, and was in the market for building my own car, and was looking at the prices, and I was like, wow, there's a whole category of cars that's just appreciating in value like crazy. So then I started looking like, okay, of cars, and really started to understand the collector car market in depth, and realized there's this echelon of vehicles that high net worth individuals buy as alternative investments. And why can't that be available to anybody? Crypto makes that reality possible. And that was sort of the that spark of inspiration that led me to creating Drvn Labo.
That is freaking amazing. Now, is it true what they say that it is really expensive to rebuild classic cars?
It is a very expensive and very, how should I say, there's a very steep learning curve to being into cars in general, whether you're just, you've got a vehicle that you want to modify and maintain entirely yourself, or if you've gone my route and just basically build a car from scratch. Yeah, it is a very expensive hobby.
At what point, or when was that moment where you realized this wasn't just about cars or crypto? This was something bigger you were meant to build?
Mhm. Um, that's a really good question. I think it was really just when I had that spark of inspiration. I realized that all the things that I've been doing throughout my entire life has brought me to creating this, for lack of a better term, opportunity for the wider market.
Mhm.
And it's also the understanding of the community building powers of Web3, and that's
Yeah.
something that I've really missed in car culture. It's gone through, I would say, kind of a cultural winter since the advent of Instagram, where before line really only existed in forums, and then you'd go and you'd meet up with your friends, or they'd come over and help you with your project or whatever, and it was really collaborative. And then when
Mhm.
Instagram, became big, and that's kind of the primary social platform for the car scene these days, it became much more about, getting clicks and getting clout, and not so much about respecting the passion, respecting the the mechanics and the science of it all. And so I see this not only as an opportunity to uh, offer anybody the ability to co-own their dream cars, but also to build community around managing and monetizing and preserving these cars. Or, one of the things we're working on is a suite of features that allows people to create car clubs, events, meetups, and manage it all on chain. So I see this as just as much a tool for improving the culture as it is for giving new financial opportunities to people who love the vehicles.
Now, if for some reason this thing boots me, just keep talking and I'll be right back. It does this once every
Okay.
so show. And I do apologize for that again. Okay. So now with that, what does ownership really mean to you? And how has that definition changed as you stepped into a world where something physical can now live digitally and still hold a value?
Yeah, for ownership, that for me that means having a stake, having a say in something, and that's one area
Mhm.
where I think, because I think RWA is going to be huge. Everything is going to be
Yeah.
tokenized, but so much of RWA is really just, you know, taking something like a treasury or even gold and making a digital form of it that's tradable. But there's not there's not a the ability to, let's say, um, like have a say or be part of a community around that asset. And it really just doesn't make sense for most
Mhm.
real world assets that are being tokenized. But in this case, car culture is all about community. And now we can offer through co ownership the ability for people to become part of a close knit community that they they have a say, they have a stake, and they have, they can share in the upside of these assets together. So it's really like we use a DAO structure to offer the ability for our users and our holders to be involved in every aspect of the assets that they hold. Oh, did we lose Leslie? She might have dropped. But yeah, I guess I can expand on that a little bit until she gets back. Uh, so, um, kind of going down that rabbit hole of the DAO that manages these assets. There's a lot of things that they can do, such as we get appraisals on the cars, which happen quarterly. Uh, the We'll get information from the appraiser or from the market data where there's maybe a certain amount of miles that can be put on the car without negatively affecting the value. So we
Mhm.
can provide that information to the community of co-owners, and they can vote on how many miles are put on the car. They can also say we have a movie studio that comes to us and says, "Hey, we'd love to feature Paul Walker's Ferrari in Fast and Furious 11. We'll pay you $30,000 to have it on set for 2 months." That can go to the community to vote on whether they're willing to offer that vehicle for that use, and that also generates revenue back to the community. So there's built-in mechanisms, both on-chain and off-chain, that turn the cars into um, revenue drivers, and that goes to the treasury and can become profit share for the holders, as well as a reserve of funds to maybe do maintenance on the car or do something that will, let's say, if we decide or we determine that maybe getting a new paint job on the car is going to increase the value, that can come out of the treasury and the community can vote on whether they want to allocate those funds. So it's really like, you can own like Paul Walker's Ferrari without having to deal with the maintenance cost or the storage or anything like that, and that's all managed by the co-owners. But the thing that people often ask me is like, so is it like a timeshare? Do you get a chance to drive the car or rent it for a week or whatever? And when we're talking about one of a kind vehicles like Paul Walker's Ferrari, obviously we can't just hand the keys to anybody, but we can create opportunities and experiences where people can come to a car show where it's featured, or they can come to our facility in Austin, Texas, where we have the car at COTA, the Circuit of the Americas, which is coming very soon. And we can take them out for a drive or go on track days and take them out for a hot lap in a controlled environment so they can really experience the car that they are a co-owner of.
That is freaking amazing. I know that you recently moved to Austin, Texas, and I do want to chat a little bit about
Mhm.
that, and what made you all decide to move to Austin and why Austin. But before we get there, okay, so you lived in both worlds, traditional culture and Web3. What
Yep.
did each one teach you about people that the other couldn't?
Um, all right. Wow. Good question. Let's start with car culture and the automotive scene. Um, I think what that's taught me is digging deep for this one. Um, that I would say like um, all culture are not created equal. What you end up
Mhm.
seeing is um, like some groups or some clubs or what have you, or different scenes um, can kind of spiral in the wrong direction and really uh, hurt uh, the public persona of that culture. A good example would be what's referred to as takeovers or sideshows, where a bunch of kids with cars that have more horsepower than they could ever need will go and take over an intersection and go do donuts and and cause havoc. But then on the flip side, you have people that get together and help each other, pursue their passion and answer each other's questions and be a support, uh, like a um, support system for one another. And I guess in a
Mhm.
sense that kind of exists in crypto too. You have certain aspects of crypto which can be ripe with scams, and others that are like the base family, the base community is really about building each other up. So now that I think about it, both those lessons, both those ideas manifest in both of those worlds. So I guess I answered your question, but ultimately ended up tying the two together.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so when you first said, I'm going to bring culture on chain, did you believe people would understand it, or do you have to get comfortable being misunderstood?
Definitely the latter. Yeah. So going to a lot of car shows and meets and what have you, talking to people about it, there's a large contingent of people that have negative connotations around
Mhm.
crypto. They think it's pretty much all a scam. And having to break down that barrier where it's like, no, this isn't, isn't a fly by night operation. This isn't, the 1500th meme coin that's launched today that's going to go to zero. This is something that actually provides value to what you're already doing. And the thing I
Mhm.
often refer to is, a lot of people are with Robinhood. It's like, investing in stocks is very common. Almost everybody does it, whether through your 401k or directly through Robinhood. What if you could become co-owner in the same way that you own stocks in, say, Tesla? Now you can own effectively a stock, even though it's not necessarily the same thing, in a extremely rare investment grade collector car, and then that tends to break down that barrier of thinking, okay, this actually does provide a real value to the things that I'm interested in. So that's going to be a constant struggle in uh, in our objective to bring car culture on chain. And
Mhm.
so what we have to do is really focus on education, answering people's objections, and then creating a user experience which feels native to them. It can't feel Web3. It can't feel esoteric. It's got to feel natural, like any app that they already use. And that's one of the advantages of using Base is we can abstract away things like seed phrases and uh, paying gas fees and things like that. And they don't even necessarily have to hold ETH. They could just have USDC, and that's all they need to do to get started. So, dollars make sense to them. Ether doesn't. So let's make sure that we're giving them a clear path through, the digital equivalent to USD to start, participating on chain.
Absolutely. How do you deal with the FUD of the people that are already in this space? And you are going to have those contrarians where it's like, why are we even doing real world assets? And not just with cars, with other items that just think it's unnecessary. How do you deal with that type of FUD?
Yeah, I've gotten that question a lot, like, why does this even need to be on chain? And
Mhm.
really, the answer to that is, that's really the only way that we can turn an illiquid market, which is, the collector car market's something like 100 or $200 billion. I think in the U.S. alone, we can't do that by, turning them into securities that are traded, uh, on the stock exchange. We can't do it by purely offering it as a, let's say, um, you know, unsecured digital uh, certificates on a database. This has to be on chain to be able to really turn it into a liquid market. Um, so yeah, there's always going to be the naysayers, the people that are going to bring FUD in. Ultimately, I'm just not going to listen to them. If they have a good point, maybe it helps me to sharpen my knife next time somebody asks a legitimate question. But ultimately, yeah, I can't give the haters
Oh my gosh.
too much credence. Uh-oh, looks like she's gone again. I'm just looking through some of the comments while we wait for Leslie to come back. But I see Tammy Hammer is here. Fix It Phil. I think that's Crypto Empress, but your name is uh, all squares. But I see the Wenrari, and I I know that is it's got to be Crypto Empress. I'll say while we're waiting, if you're watching and you want to drop a question, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, since I can see the chat. So feel free to shoot something over. All right, we got a question from Tammy Hammer. Oh, but looks like Leslie might be back. Getting a black screen from her. All right. So Tammy Hammer asked, can you tell people about the keys? Yeah. So we offer what's called our Founders Club keys. Oh, looks like she is back.
You can then answer it while it's trying to reboot me back up.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so our Founders Club keys, this is an NFT collection which is geared towards sort of our 1,000 true fans. We want to bring in a group of people that are going to be really active in contributing to the project. And so that's all the Founders Club. And you can get in at 3 different levels. So there's the steel key, carbon key, and titanium key. These can be minted directly in our app at drvnvehicles.app, drvnvhcls.app. Think of it like a license plate, no vowels. And with that NFT, it gives you a ton of perks. So first thing is when you mint your key, you immediately get roughly 20% of the fee back in Buster tokens. So that can kind of get you started with our ecosystem token. And it also gets you into a VIP section of our Discord community where we have basically like the ability to collaborate with us. And I'll give you a really good example. We've got Fix It Phil here watching, and he ended up picking up one of each of the keys. Super passionate about what we're doing, and he's taken full advantage of it. So that's basically given him the ability to work directly with us to be a contributor. He comes in, we have meetings pretty regularly where we go over new ideas and build out new aspects of the project. And in being a founder, being a member of the Founders Club, anything that we contribute or that we collaborate with you on, you have a kind of a stake in those features. So one of the many things that I'm working with Phil on as a founder is he's producing it's the best way of putting it. He's turning our mascot Buster into a recording artist. And so we've already produced our first draft of an album that is all like kind of synthwave EDM music that then we can pair with a video of the Ferrari, post that on YouTube, and then that helps us to get, and also other music streaming platforms, and that gets our brand in front of a ton of people through other platforms. And then any revenue that generates through YouTube, Spotify, what have you, comes into our treasury, but also he'll get a profit share on what he is contributing to. So it's really a way to, have people self-select being active contributors to the project. And there's a lot of other benefits as well, but I'll let you go and check it out. If you go to our app, there's information there. If you go to drvnlabo.xyz, drvnlabo.xyz, you'll see a section for the Founders Club keys, and that outlines all of the perks.
That is so freaking awesome. Because if you guys are not following Drvn Labo, what the fudge are you guys doing with your lives?
Yeah, we really want this to be a community-led project. It's not just us sitting here calling the shots and coming up with all the ideas. We want to make sure that the people that share our passion have the ability to contribute, collaborate, and really build with us.
I love that. Rex, there's a difference between building for hype and building for legacy. Which one are you chasing? And how do you protect that vision when the market pulls in different directions?
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely building for legacy. I think about this project in a years and decades perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not really too concerned with the market swings. Yeah, it's going to mean maybe some of our audience dries up in bear markets, at least
Yeah.
on the Web3 native side. But we think that what we're building, right? I'm going to rephrase that. I believe what we're building can really transcend those market cycles. And for example, just the collector car market as a whole isn't affected by market cycles like really any other category. When the market's up, they do well, and when the market's down, they still hold their value. So I look at this long term as being something that people can treat almost as like a hedge against um, bear markets, a hedge against inflation, even. And when you combine that with a really passionate community of people, I think that we can do well in any market conditions moving forward.
Absolutely. What's something that you've had to unlearn about ownership, that you've had to unlearn about
Mhm.
ownership now that you're redefining it for an entire community?
Yeah, I think everybody has sort of um, an innate idea of what ownership is, and it's one person owns one thing, and um, for all practical reasons, yeah, that works in your day to day life. But when we're talking about assets that, let's say, for instance, my dream car is a Nissan Skyline R34 GTR M Specner. Long name, but it's a very, very rare Nissan. And that car goes for about $500,000 on the low end.
Oh, wow.
Um, and that's something I don't foresee myself being able to go out and buy anytime soon. But through our platform, I could still be a legitimate co-owner and have, um, you know, be able to experience that car, be able to be part of a community of people who share the same passion that's their dream car too. And so, fractionalization of real world assets, I think, is something that's really flipping the script on ownership. A lot of I've heard a lot of talk over the last few years of, like, what is it, BlackRock, that said, in the future you'll own nothing and be happy. And I think that's totally wrong. I like to say, in the future you'll be able to own anything and be happy, because that's just part of the condition. Is we want to we don't want to rent things. We don't want things handed to us. We want to work
Mhm.
for them, and um, we want to um, like be able to own it. So that's never going away. And now we're just using the technology to unlock doors to these incredible assets uh, that previously only a very, very small uh, group of people could really get their hands on.
Oh, absolutely. You're opening access to things that were once out of reach for most people. Do you
Mhm.
ever feel the weight of that responsibility?
Uh, Not yet. We'll see how it goes. But no, that's the great part about blockchain, is as long as all of our security and everything is in place, I feel like it's something that I don't really have to worry too much about, and I take security very,
Mhm.
very seriously. Um,
Yeah.
and there's those concerns of, like, what happens if on a track day, the car gets wrecked. We have plans in place to make
Oh,
sure
boy.
that the co-owners get compensated for that. There is risk with anything, be it crypto or um, anything that you own yourself. You're going
Mhm.
to incur some level of risk, and that is no different here with what we're doing. But we are putting all of the pieces in place to make sure that if and when that happens, that people aren't left with nothing, that they'll be able to be made whole, or mostly whole, in the worst case scenarios.
Uh, there's a deep emotional connection people have with cars. Well, at least most people, that love cars, you know, memories, identity, even status. So when you bring that on chain, how do you protect the soul of that experience so it doesn't just become another asset?
Uh, well, the way that we're structuring the DAOs that own these cars, so I guess I'll give a kind of a real quick overview. each car is owned by its own DAO. So one car, one DAO, and it's like
Mhm.
kind of a nested DAO
Okay.
underneath our top DAO structure. Um, some people are going to treat those vehicles simply as something that they're going to trade. They don't really care about the underlying asset other than what it can do for them, in the short term with a swing trade, let's say, or to use one of our DeFi um, uh, uh, features to earn some yield. Yeah, that's fine. But there's a threshold at which once you hold a certain amount of tokens of that car, that's when you become what we call a full shareholder. And that's where you get all of the benefits. So it's going to end up being a relatively small, maybe a dozen or a couple dozen people at most, group of people that build a relationship, build friendships around managing, preserving, and monetizing the car. So, and that's something that I found in being involved with a lot of DAOs and kind of studying how, um, like, what's the word? Um, uh, there's a specific word that escapes me. Emergent, um, like emergent communities organize is that the smaller they are, the better, more well managed they that they are. So we think that this mechanism for bringing people through just being a trader or like a DeFi degen up to the point of becoming a full shareholder, there's going to be almost like uh, a VIP club within the ownership of that vehicle. That's where that passion is going to be able um, to live and flourish, if that makes sense. Are you still there, Leslie? Well, I'll read some of the comments while we're waiting again. I see Rachel's hanging out here. She says, "Love to see some of my favorite people collabing." LFB, LFB indeed. AJ was agreeing with Tammy. Says, "Legendary cars and crypto. How can you go wrong?" Yeah, people here get it. I guess Wolf of Luna liked my take on you'll own nothing and be happy. Facts, you'll own anything and be happy. That's right. Leslie, are you back? Oh, I see you. Oh. Feel free to drop some more questions in the comments if you got anything. See, Doji is hanging out here with us. Rex and fam, what's up, man? Yeah, shoot some questions over if you have anything. All right, from Wolf of Luna. Will there be different rewards for different car models? So yeah, very interesting question. We are going to be experimenting with, as we bring new cars into the collection, we may be experimenting with maybe some different tokenomics, different reward structures. And the cool part about it is because each car is a DAO, or is owned by a DAO, if we identify that, let's say the third or fourth car that we bring in, um, that they're doing something right, the other communities can vote to apply the same things to it. So it can be really like an ability to create all these little uh, tokenomics, rewards, governance experiments around each car that then can be refined and applied to the um, vehicle owning DAOs in the platform? So that's a good question. Are you back? Oh, I'm hearing something. You there, Leslie?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, now you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're frozen, but I've been sitting here just answering questions from the
I
comments
have
and
to really apologize to
reading the
you,
chat.
Rex, because I feel like I am not doing you right in this interview. Now that I came back, my first day back, I am definitely going to have to redo this interview with you because I honestly feel like this is not fair. And
It's all right. Yeah, don't worry about it.
but no, we have to have a do-over, fair and square. Okay,
Okay,
so
I'll take you
because
up on that.
you take me up on that? Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
Now let me tell you, when I get all my everything fixed, I think it's lagging the way that I'm lagging lately, but okay, so tell us what before it really crashes on me because I kind of have a
Mhm.
feeling it might happen anytime. What
Mhm.
had you guys moving to Austin? Like what made you pick up and say this is where we're going? This is the location that we're choosing.
Mhm. Uh, yeah, I mean, I've had my eye. Me and my wife have had our eyes on Austin for quite a while. There's just the lifestyle aspect, which
Mhm.
we've visited numerous times and fell in love with it. And then when my daughter graduated high school and went off on her own, we thought it was a good time to try something new. But there's also a very strong business case to be made for why we moved here, and that's because Austin is really starting to stand out as one of the best tech hubs in the country. And there's a huge
Mhm.
Web3 builder community here. And where I was at previously, which was like the Reno Tahoe area in northern
Yeah.
Nevada, not really much to speak of in that realm. So uh, being here, I've been here for, I don't know, a week and a half. I've already made a ton of amazing connections. I've known a few people that are in Web3 that live here, so they've helped me to just immediately step into the city and get connected with more people. And then also there is an incredible car culture here. So um, the we've got Circuit of the Americas, about a 30-minute drive from me. That's otherwise known as CODA, and that's where they have the Austin Grand Prix, the F1 race every year. But they
Yes.
also have races and car events all the time, every weekend. I was just at a car show there this past Sunday, and it checks all the boxes for um, being in the environment and the location that I need for this company to thrive. It's got the tech, it's got the Web3 community, and it's got probably one of the best car cultures.
I love
Looks like I have another question from, oh, here we are. Go ahead.
Austin, Texas too.
Have you,
I
have
lived
you,
in Texas for a while and just moved to Arizona. And when I saw that you were moving to Austin, it just made sense. When I saw the post, the sense that you guys were moving there.
yeah, it really checks all the boxes for us. And to, the cherry on top is that we are going to be buying a property at Coda for our headquarters for Drvn Labo. So that's where we're going to have our showroom with all our cars, office space, obviously, to work on the company, and then be able to host events, meetups, and even allow our community members to come and treat it like a shared workspace, so they can come out if they're visiting or if they're even they live in the Austin area, and
Am I back?
and use the space like their own. Yes, I can hear you.
Rex, can you hear me?
Nope. Feel like she's cutting in and out. Yes, yeah. Can you hear me now? Cutting in and out. I saw another question come in from Wolf of Luna, and then also my colleague Gary behind the Drvn account answered it, but he said, can I buy the token with ETH, or is ETH in the ecosystem? I'm an ETH maxi. Yeah, so the Buster token does trade with ETH. We are on Base, and we think that's going to be the best network for onboarding the masses. And then all of our RWAs are going to be purchasable with USDC. So if you go to the Drvn Vehicles app right now, you can participate in the pre-sale, which is currently live, of Paul Walker's tokenized Ferrari 360 Modena, and that just takes some ETH to get in and become a co-owner. I'm going to send a quick message to Leslie. Oh, good question from Doji. Says, where do you see yourself as a brand in, let's say, 5 years? Hopefully, I would like it to be a household name in the car culture. We are doing so many things, even beyond Web3, that are going to touch every aspect of the automotive industry. And on the RWA side, what I really want to see in 5 years is I want us to have the world's largest community-owned collection of rare cars. So the example I like to give is Peterson Automotive Museum in LA probably has $100 million of cars. And when you go there, they may be on display, by courtesy of the owner or owned by the Peterson Museum. In our case, we want to have our own museum where when you and view the cars, your dream car, you can become a co-owner. So with as far as RWA is concerned, being something that can be massive. And not only that, we can take it to the Jay Lenos of the world, or the Jerry Seinfeld, both who are huge car collectors, and we can offer them to tokenize their own collection as well. So a lot of opportunity here. Leslie, are you back?
I'm back. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I think. Oh, goodness gracious.
I hear a echo and some feedback. All right, we'll keep those questions rolling, but yeah, we have a lot in the works for our 5, 10, 20-year plan. And, even so far as like eventually owning a racetrack or tracks, or sponsoring race teams, things like that. So people can become co-owners in, maybe one day we buy Coda and then we tokenize it. Or we work with, an F1 team, and people could become co-owners of the F1 team, similar to how like the Green Bay Packers are technically owned by their fans or ticket holders, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Wolf of Luna says, eventual track. Oh yeah, you better believe we're going to be working towards having a track of our own, whether we buy one or whether we build one. That is that's on the long-term roadmap. Yeah, tracks make big money, that's for sure. Thanks, AJ. Says, you're handling this interview well and with grace. Much respect. Hey, I've been in her shoes times, and so I totally get it. Oh, looks like she's about to come back in. And honestly, thanks to everybody who's been sticking through this as well, while I do my best to monologue and answer your questions. Leslie, can you hear me?
Correct. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your patience through this. I swear, like, I'm trying not to feel frustrated, so I can imagine
Totally
how
get
you
it.
probably feel. Am I gone?
Nope, you're there.
Oh, goodness gracious. I was like, okay, what is this thing doing? I want to sincerely apologize to you. I want to apologize to all of our listeners, our viewers, and everybody that has been hanging in there. I am definitely going to have you back because I think that this interview didn't serve you well, what you're doing, what you're building, because I do think that you're building something amazing, something incredible. And I want to get all of this technology issues to squared away, and then maybe have you back next week. Right now, because I'm trying to catch up, I am doing interviews 5 days a week instead of the 3. And maybe getting you back on and then giving you a proper interview where we don't have to sit here and lag through this. I'll probably have to do it from a different location because right now I'm deep in the mountains.
Not a problem. And yeah, I'm happy to jump on another with you anytime.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to let you go so you don't have to truck through these technology issues while I keep disappearing before it boots me again. Rex, do you want to leave us with any last parting words before we go crazy again?
Yeah, if you're interested in what I've been talking about, we'd love to have you in the community. You can find our Discord server link in the bio of our X account. And if you want to take it a step further, we'd love to have you in the co-owner community of Paul Walker's Ferrari 360 Modena. So you can get those through the Drvn Vehicles app right now. There are since it's in pre-sale, there are a couple of requirements. So if you hold any one of the Founders Club keys, are auto whitelisted to every single RWA that we release on the platform for the pre-sale phase. Or since we're in the third and final stage of pre-sale, you just need to hold 100,000 Buster tokens. I don't know, that's something like, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks of Buster, and then KYC, and you can get in and claim your pre-sale shares of Paul Walker's Ferrari. But we've got a lot of awesome things planned for that car. YouTube channel is going to start putting out a lot more content featuring the Ferrari. So give us a follow, and yeah, hope to see you in the community.
Guys, if you're not in the community, what the F are you doing? So you better join, especially if you love cars. And I am going to follow up with Rex, get him back scheduled with us so we can give him a proper interview, hopefully as quickly as next week. So stay tuned and don't be drifting like Rex. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
And if you do, make sure you don't crash.
Yes, exactly, Rex. Again, thank you so much for your patience, and I will see you soon back on live with me.
All right. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, everyone. Stay unscripted, and we'll see you next week. Well, tomorrow with some. We'll see.